are completing slides 7, 8, and 9 today. So let's look at the left side. It tells us line of best fit. Draw a line of best fit. So do y'all remember what the line of best fit is? It's also called your trend line. So let me zoom in on that vocab. Your trend line is a line on a graph showing the general direction that a graph of points seem to follow. So whenever we have this, we need to make a line that goes through these points. Yesterday we were able to do it on the calculator. We're going to do that again today. But right now we are just drawing it. So get your line tool. And let's see. A trend line. And extend it all the way. And you can make it how you think it goes. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Just follow the general direction. We do know it's positive, right? Because it's going up from left to right. Okay, let's go ahead and color this line and make it a little darker. Color mine blue. Put arrows on the end. Remember back in like 6th grade, you might have used a spaghetti noodle or a ruler to make your little trend line. I don't think we did it in 7th grade, but some teachers teach it like that, where you make a line that goes through the points. Okay, we are going to use 2 points to write the line of best fit for this graph. Okay, what 2 points does this line seem to go through the best? Negative 5, 2.
Oh, that's on mine. My bad.
Not on mine. What? 1, 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a text box. And let's type that point 1, 7. Okay, what other point should we use? The black one or the green one? What do y'all think?
The green one.
Okay. So what is that point then?
5, 12.
Yeah. Okay, we have 2 points. And it just says use 2 points to write the line of best fit for this graph. That's what we're going to use. Let's go to our calculator and let's find that line of best fit. Let me pull up. All right, y'all know how I told y'all clear memory because we want everything fresh on here. So do y'all remember the steps? Stat, edit. And then put in, what do I put in L1?
The
X's. So what are my X's?
1 and 5.
Okay. And then what do I put in L2?
7 and 12.
Yeah. So I need to make sure that 1 matches with whatever I'm putting over here. 1 is paired with 7. And then 5 is paired with 12. All I wanted was just from those 2 points. That's it. Okay, now we have to calculate. Stat, calc, 4 for linear regression. And go down, enter, enter, enter. Here's our equation. So we're going to type it right here. So y equals 1.25x plus 5.75. I'm going to take away that so it's all on the same line. And underline this. There we go. Okay, so this is the line of best fit for this line. now what we're going to do is we are going to use all the points to find the line of regression. So let's go over here and let's see what it tells us to do. We have a table XY. It says use your calculator and all of the points to find the line of regression. So that means we need to look at our scatter plot and write every single point down. Or type them, really. I like to start at the very left over here and then work my way to the right. So I'm going to start with this black point right here. So let's see, it would be -5 and 2. And the next one would be the green point right here. So that's at -3. And you can hit tab to go over to the y value. -3, +4. Okay, and then the orange value, or orange point, sorry, -2, +3. Why did I put 4? And keep on hitting tab to go between the two. 2, -3, 4, -2, 3, and then a -2, 1. All right, so go ahead and find each one of those points. I'm going to do the same thing while y'all do it. So just kind of look up at mine, make sure you agree. So the next one will be this point. So -1, 7. And this point, 0, 8. And then +1, 7, +1, 5. And then we're at that blue point, so it'd be 2, 10. And then 3, 9. 4, 7. And 5, 12. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Okay. So let's use our calculator to find our line of regression using all of the points.
Oh my God.
So we got to put all these into L1, L2. So go back over to stat, edit. If you want to change these, go up to L1. Look at mine. I'm hovered over L1 and I'm going to hit clear, enter, and it clears everything in that column. And I go over up to L2, clear, enter, and it clears that column. So now I have everything fresh. So go ahead and put these in. Put in the X values in L1. And as you go along, make sure you're double checking yourself because it's easy to let a finger slip and then it doesn't work. So there are 12 values. So make sure you get those 12. Now arrow over and then make sure you start up with the -5 and that's 2, 4, 3, 1, 7, 8, 7, 5, 10, 9, 7, 12. Okay. Now we need to do our linear regression. So we have a spot down here where we can fill in the A, B, and then the y equals ax plus b. And then I'm going to tell you about the r value after that. Okay, so go to stat, calc, number 4, enter, and there we go. So go ahead and type that in the A and B spot and then write your equation. So 0 point. We're going to round to the, let me see, hundredths place. So that means 2 numbers behind the decimal. 9.3. And then B is 6.02. Is that the 7 makes that 1 round to a 2. So then write your equation in AX plus B, 0.93x plus 6.02. We're not doing the R value yet. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay, we are going to draw the line of regression on the graph and compare the 2 lines. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to look at it in our calculator. So we need to turn our stat plot on. Amber alert. You can turn that off if you have an Amber alert. All right, let's look and let's graph this. So go to second y equals for stat plot. So we're reviewing all those steps from yesterday. We want to turn that plot on. Second y equals for stat plot.
You gotta turn it on.
Turn it on.
You turn off. My second plot is on. My turn it off.
Yeah, we only want plot 1 on. So if plot 2 is on, yeah, turn that off. Only plot 1 should be on. Okay, and then we want to graph it. But what do we need to do in order to see this better?
Zoom.
Zoom, and then which one?
Zoom stuff.
Zoom stat. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay, we are going to graph our linear regression line on there and our line of best fit that we found. So let's do our linear regression first. So go to y equals 0.93x plus 6.02. And so this is your line of regression. So look at it. How's that look? Looks like it fits.
Goes through 2 points.
Yeah, it actually goes through these 2 points, huh? So let's compare it to our line of best fit that we found over here using just 2 points. 1.25x plus 5.75. So the blue line is going to be the linear regression, and the red line is going to be our line of best fit, which I'm going to change it on here too. I'm going to click on that and change that to red so that I can draw the other one in blue so it matches our graph. Okay, hit graph. Let's look at it. Okay, so how do they compare?
They intersect.
They intersect? Which one has a higher slope?
The red one or the second one.
Yeah, the red one, the one that we made.
Yeah.
So the actual slope is not as steep. So let's go ahead and graph that one. So you need your line tool. And it looks like it goes through these 2 points more. So I need to make it blue. So that looks more like the other one. But were we that far off? No, I don't think so. I think we did pretty good. All right, make sure you have the 2 lines on there. We're skipping R. We're going to come back to it after the next slide. So let's go to slide 8. We're going to fill in the blank on a few things. So slide 8, we have regression, a statistical way to find an equation that best fits the data. Regression, written as y equals ax plus b. A is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. You can graph the scatter plot and the linear regression equation on the same graph, which that's what we did on the last one. The correlation coefficient, that is going to be our R value. That's going to measure the strength of the correlation. So a lot of times we want to know, is it a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation? But you can be even more specific and say if it's strong positive or weak positive. If it's strong negative or weak negative. If it's a negative correlation, that means it has a negative slope. Remember? Positive goes up from left to right. So statistical measure for the strength of a correlation written as a decimal the R value is between -1 and +1. So the closer your correlation coefficient R is to -1 or +1, the stronger the correlation. So we need to look at this graph right here, this little number line. So 0 means no correlation. If your R is 0, then it's going to look like a scatter plot like this. So let's go ahead and put a 0 in here. That's going to be a 0 correlation, no correlation. It's going to be at 0. There's no trend in the way the points are graphed. It's not going up, it's not going down. Okay, then the further that it gets to 1, the stronger the correlation. So like a 0.5 would be considered a weak correlation, but it is positive. If it's closer to 1, it's going to be stronger. So if we look over here, let's look at the positive correlations. This one. How closely does this line fit those points?
0.9.
Yeah, I'd say 0.9. I agree with you. Because it's really, really close to 1. Those points are almost all on the line. But then the next one, what about that one?
0.5. 0.3.
0.
No, 0 is like this. These aren't that close, but they are going in a positive direction. I'd say closer to like 0.6, 0.7, something like that. I'm going to put a 0 out front. 0.6, 0.9. There we go. Okay, and then I don't see any other positives. Those other ones are negative. So let's look at the negative side. The closer it gets to -1, the stronger it is. So out of these, which one's the strongest?
The one top right.
Top right, yeah. So what should we put there? What?
0.9.
Yeah, negative though, right? Because it's a negative slope. Negative 0.9. Okay, out of these two, which one's stronger? Left or right?
The right one.
I'd say right, and that has more points too. So this should be a negative 0. What do y'all think?
6,
8.
5,
7.
4, 21.
Not 21. I would say 8. Yeah.
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 8 fits the description.
Okay, and then what about this one?
No, it's a 0.
3.
Yeah.
3. Oh, 2.
Well, compare this one to this one. Which one's a better fit?
Yeah, they look the same.
They look about the same. So I'd say 6. We're just doing estimations. Just a general idea of what it will be. So let's look back over here and let's estimate what our R value will be. So we're looking at our line of regression, which is the blue line. So what do y'all think about the blue line on this data? What do you think the R value will be?
7.
Okay.
0.7.
0.7, 0.7, so it is positive. All right, our calculator will find it for us because we've already entered this data. So let me show you how we find it. All right, hopefully you didn't clear anything. Everything's there. I hope not. All right, what we have to do is we have to turn on stat diagnostics in the mode menu. It doesn't automatically stay on. We have to turn it on every single time. So anytime you clear your memory, stat diagnostics gets turned off. So if you're asked to find the R value, you go to mode and look for stat diagnostics.
Mine's on.
And turn it on. Once you have it on, clear or quit that. Do second quit. Don't clear out memory or anything like that. Then go back to stat, calculate. Number 4, enter. It gives us our R value.
0.8.
Yep. We're going to round to 2 decimal places up.
0.83.
Yes. 0.83. We are not using R squared. We're using R. So y'all guessed 0.7. So 0.8 is a little bit stronger. So that's good. Let's look at these examples. Put the following correlation coefficients in order from weakest to strongest. So our weakest means it's closest to 0. Strongest means closest to 1 or -1. Okay, so what is our weakest out of these numbers here?
0.7.
Yep, 0.07. Then what is the next one? 0.43. Next one, 81, negative 81. Negative 0.81. Because it doesn't matter positive or negative. We're ignoring positive and negative, and we're just looking at getting closest to -1 or +1. So the next one would be 0.87, and then negative 0.98. That is in order from weakest to strongest. So the further you are away from 0, the stronger the correlation. But the highest value you can get for R is 1. Okay, do the next one. Put them in order from weakest to strongest. Okay, y'all check mine with yours. See if you get the same thing.
Wait, we're done.
Okay, do y'all agree? Okay, good. All right, our last slide for the day. Let's look at the practice linear regression. We are only looking at the left side right now. It says a convenience store manager notices that sales of soft drinks are higher on hotter days. So he assembles the data in the table. We have high temperature and then number of cans sold. Find and graph a linear regression equation that models the data. What is the correlation coefficient? And then use the model to predict soft drink sales if the temperature is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So our high temperature, that's going to be the X value or the L1. And then our number of cans sold is going to be the Y value. So if you want to clear the memory in your calculator, you can. Or if you just want to clear L1, L2, you can do that too. Go to Edit, go up to L2, push Clear, Enter. Over to L1, push Clear, Enter. Go ahead and put these in, find your equation and find your correlation coefficient, which is R, and then answer the question. You're doing both of these problems, but do the first one. I'm going to come around and check it, and then you can work on the second one. So I'm going to hit pause.